Hello and welcome to Ageless Rock, a channel for megalithic fans with megalithic lens. Today, we are going to check out 3 more bedrock temples of India that defies logic of creating them in a civilization where even mahogany wood is very hard to deal with. Although it is as awesome as any megalithic sites in the world, it is unfortunately still relatively unknown to people outside of India. Somewhere in our historical timeline, something happened at Ellora. A group of cave temples belonging to Jainism were created and no one knows for sure what happened here. Archaeologists say this is a product of Rashtrakuta dynasty. Today, we are going to explore 3 more cave temples hewn out of bedrock. They are believed to be created between 6th and 10th century. Cave 32 is called Indra Sabha. Cave 33 is called Jaganatha Sabha, while Cave 34 on the end corner has no name. Although it is called Indra Sabha, there is no Indra god here. It was mistaken by historians in 19th century because of yaksa carving. From the outside, it looks unimpressive, but I can tell you it is worth the walk because this is a top-down rock-cut cave of Jain temple. It is like a mini Kailasa at cave 16. Indra Sabha temple is actually a misnomer. The early people who named this mistook a Yaksa deity in Jainism as Indra. Fortunately, Indra is also a major deity in Jainism. Indra rules the first heaven and is the architect of assembly halls. Indra Sabha name made it sound like a Hindu cave temple. The name is stuck with this temple and there is no sign of name change anytime soon. This temple is about 15 meters wide and 17 meters deep and comes with a famous pillar that stands at about 8.3 meters tall. This monolithic pillar itself is an amazing achievement if it can be done by chisels and hammers. On the right side of the entrance, there is an impressive monolithic statue of an elephant about 5 meters tall from the ground. This photo of the elephant of such grandeur can be easily mistaken for Kailasa temple at cave 16. Indra Sabha temple is like a prototype of replica of Kailasa temple. The pillar, the elephant and the temple are monolithic concept of a cave temple the Hindus and Jains shared in ancient past. But if you look from the top, the pillar, the elephant and the temple carved top down is nothing compared to the volume of bedrock that had to be removed in order to have 3 monoliths on the inside. Indra Sabha simply means assembly hall of Indra. So after removing the bedrock for a temple, the ancient builders proceeded to carve enormous halls into the bedrock. Pretty wild and crazy idea to even think about it if all they had was some ancient metal tools. So the debate of who built this remains debatable. Indra Sabha Cave Temple not only has a gigantic pillar and an enormous elephant with a temple in the middle. Shaping bedrock from top to bottom was too easy for ancient builders. Ancient builders even hollow out 2 stories of assembly halls. I can only imagine it was done because removing bedrock was easy. But how can this be if you don't have the tools to deal with basalt bedrock? Indra Sabha has a 2-level hall cut into the bedrock. I wish I have the measurements to calculate the amount of bedrock removed just to have a place of worship. I wonder if there is a reason why Jains needed 6 Holy of Holies in one temple. Imagine if this is a church with 6 sanctuaries and 6 pastors can preach on one Sunday morning. With Indra Sabha, I cannot help but to think that ancient chisels are great tools to work on basalt. If this is a 1,200-year-old top-down rock-cut church in Europe, it would have been a major tourist site for the world to see. Be prepared to get blown away after you enter through the Gopuram. This cave temple comes with many reliefs on the walls and pillars. It seems like the unknown ancient builders tried to carve everywhere because it was easy. There are some paintings at this site, but I think it is a mistake to conclude that those who painted the walls were those who created the cave. Those who painted the cave lived in wooden houses, sat on wooden chairs, and ate dinner on wooden tables. But when it comes to temples, it has to be bedrock all in one piece. This is one piecemeal I cannot digest. The mysterious rectangular holes tell me that someone else was here first and did the groundwork for a religious site. Something tells me that there is a very good chance they too are the ones who gave us religion. I can tell you with 100% confidence that someone else was here first because there is no reason to smack a facade with square holes in a row. This is a tool mark we have no clue because we don't have the tool. You can find these mysterious square holes in a row, which I loosely call it gear tracks, in megalithic sites around the world. What are the odds that the one in Kanagawa, Japan is extremely similar to the one at Ben Pyramid in Egypt and can also be found at Temple Mount in Israel? While the floor certainly can be improved, someone actually found it more important to make sure the ceiling of the second floor gets some design to make it look nice. To make it more mysterious, they look like the mysterious gear tracks, but in a nicer arrangement rather than random and uneven gap in a straight line. The unknown ancient builders were certainly very good at throwing you off with more questions but no answer. Let's move on to Jaganatha Sabha cave, which is next to Indra Sabha cave. From the map, you can see about 12 meters wide and 10 meters deep bedrock was removed in order to make way for an enormous Jain temple. Jaganatha Sabha is an assembly hall for Jains. Even though it is not famous, it is nevertheless an awesome sight. A massive triangular block of bedrock when missing is what bothers me when I see this photo. Here, the Jains are seated and meditating peacefully while the modern Indians were squatting and wondering what happened here. I wish I can travel back in time and see how ancient Indians carved this section of the wall on ancient scaffolding with ancient chisels, if that ever happened. But there is something that most people wouldn't see. If you see from an aerial view, you will see only half the picture of awesomeness. If you are standing on the street, it feels like there isn't much to see. In reality, Jaganatha Sabha is a colossal bedrock reshaping project. The other half of the project is hidden in the cave. The black rectangular boxes are cavities hollowed out. Can you imagine the amount of rubble from level 1 that has to be managed? Then imagine again the amount of rubble from level 2. The amount of bedrock removed from the inside is probably the same if not more compared to the outside. This insane level of devotion is not human behavior. It defies logic regardless of how you want to praise the Indians for being hardworking. Jagannatha Hall is supported by well-carved huge pillars with plenty of reliefs. The immensity of this project will not disappoint you. The carvings are mostly Parshvanatha and Mahavira. They are the 23rd and 24th Tirthankara of Jainism. If you come to this spot, you will most likely see a statue confirming it is a Jain temple. But most likely, Jains are interested in meditating, not hacking bedrock with chisels. The long curved striation proves it was a tool we are not familiar with. Let's move on to Cave 34, which is the last of the official Ellora caves. If you have enjoyed thoroughly at Indra Sabha and Jaganatha Sabha, then Cave 34 seems like a place to take a rest. From an aerial view, it is very hard to see if there is even a cave. But as usual, the unknown ancient builders like to hollow out bedrock, and there is a very good reason to go in other than taking a rest from the scorching sun. The interior has pretty impressive, well-carved pillars. The open lotus medallion on the ceiling symbolizes that you are entering a sacred space, and that is particularly true when it is in front of the sanctum. But this could be a hidden knowledge where upon standing below this ceiling, you will be left with only positive energy prior to facing the Holy of Holies. Cave 33 and 34 might be at the very far end of the Ellora caves system, but I think it should not be missed if you are a megalithic fan. The Jain cave temples are just as impressive if you can comprehend the magnitude of reshaping bedrock. In Ellora Caves site, there are over 100 caves, but only 34 are officially promoted, and of that amount, 4 are equally amazing. Due to limited time for tourists, Cave 15, 30 and 32 are rarely promoted. If you tour Cave 16 first, the wow factor for the rest of the caves will be lost. It looks like Hindus got 2 top-down bedrock monolithic temples. The Jains have 2 monolithic temples with similar concept in architectural design, but the Buddhists have none. I wonder why. It would be awesome to see a Buddhist version with a stupa on top and a huge Buddha on the inside. Well, that's all for now. Hope you enjoy my short presentation on the last 3 caves of Ellora in beautiful India, and have a wonderful day. Acha, Jai Hind, goodbye.